Alright, so guys, welcome back to today's lesson. And if you don't know, this is my new YouTube channel where I'm going to be teaching you guys how to play the bass from the scratch. Now, we've already done so many topics and so many videos on both the major scale, everything that has to do with what the beginner should know. So in today's video, we'll be learning how to tune the bass, because as a bass player, another most important thing you must get in place is your bass guitar or your guitar being tuned. So now in this video, we're going to be learning how to tune your bass guitar without a tuner. Now, there are so many tricks that we can go about this, but if you have money to be able to purchase a bass tuner, it's going to be an advantage, so you can go ahead and get it. But I'm going to show you how you can tune your bass without a tuner. And if you're playing on stage and then there is no tuner, or there is no way you can be able to get to tune it, I'm going to show you guys tricks that you can use to get your bass tuned to standard. Okay, now first thing first is that you need to have a reference note. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to be detuning my bass. I already have like an old string on, so my strings are already old. So if I detune my bass, it might not give me a very good sound when I try to pull it back to tune. Okay, so you need to have a reference note. Now, most times you might either have a reference note from your keyboardist, or you are going to use a keyboard. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to be using a keyboard from my FL Studio. Okay, so let me load up that keyboard. So while we're loading up the keyboard plugin, please, if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, do well to hit the subscribe button, and please leave a comment in the comment section. Please, it goes a long way in helping this video do well. So we cannot be having like 50 views and then just 5 likes. Do well to hit the like and then say something in the comment section. You can also tell me a topic of interest that you want me to teach. I'm going to try as much as possible to do justice to that topic. Okay, so here we go. We have the keyboard plugin loaded. Keyboard plugin. So what I'm going to do here is to get the sound from the keyboard. So that's C, so which is do, 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 do. Now, if you followed from the previous videos we've done, you notice that we talked about where you're supposed to have your C on the standard tone of the bass, right? So, which is this place. As you can see, it's not sounding well. So what we're going to be doing is matchmaking. If I hit this note, I'm going to try and see how it connects to my bass. So this is where I found the sound that matched it. But because it's not matching where it's supposed to be, you have over how many steps away from where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to tight, okay? So like I said before, if you've watched our previous videos, you will notice that you have almost how many steps away. So because we've really said that this is an ascending order and this is descending order, so we're going to be tightening the strings, okay? Still not sounding, still not yet where it's supposed to be, so we can also go ahead and match make. So we need to tighten it up a little bit. So you have to do this slightly. That's why it's very important to actually first of all check where it is, so you know how well to tight or how loose you're going to go about it. So little, still not there, still not there. So let's go, almost there. Now, one thing that you noticed that happened to me yesterday, because I'm shooting this video on a Monday morning, yesterday in church, is that I actually detuned my bass before going to church for some certain reasons. Okay, now when I got to church, I was actually trying to tune my bass before service started. If you mess around with this place, like you're not paying attention to the exact tuning pegs you're touching, you might be turning this particular peg and thinking that you're controlling this peg. So you have to pay attention to this particular detail. Okay, so I think we have it already. Okay, correct. So most times you might actually use this technique to get what you want. So you move over to the next string, which is the D string. So not sounding. So on your keyboard, you go over and play F. Okay, so we go over ahead and play Fa. So not connecting. So you can see the distance. So we're going to tighten it. So that's what you see. I almost made the mistake I just corrected you guys off now. Do you see that? So you go ahead and tighten it a bit gradually, so you don't break your strings. Still not there. Still not there. Okay, like a half step left. So still not there. My ears are really open to an extent, so when I hear it, I know. So okay, so little. So we have it. So if you want to do this particular style, you can ask the keyboardist to just give you those notes. And sometimes when the keyboardist just gives you that first note, boom, you can then use it to tune the rest of the instrument. I'm going to show you guys how to do that, okay? So we move over to the next string. So we can just go to La. Now, this is very important to know that you need to know where those notes are supposed to be in their original key, like we already explained in the previous video, which is on key C. So that way, once you play that place that is supposed to be on key C, maybe this is supposed to be La on key C. So if it doesn't sound like La, you know that you are not correct. So you have to start looking for the notes. Okay, so we're going to go over to La, and then we'll play. We'll strike La to C. So you see the distance from the La to where it's supposed to be. So we're going to tighten this one a bit more than the regular. So tight. Then do you see where it is still remaining like a half step movement? So we go again. Okay, so okay, then so we're going to now tune our B strings for you guys playing 5-string bass. So we have an open B, but you're not going to do that. Most times, I don't know, on the tuner, your tuner hardly picks up that B string. I don't know why, because it doesn't pick the vibration, especially when you're using the clip tuner stuff. So we're going to tune that up with the note. So we're going to look for a note that already in the string that should be on the key C. Okay, like where is key C? Where is this note supposed to be on key C? So you know on key C, this fret is supposed to give us the C sound, right? So we're going to use that to tune it. So you can go ahead and do the, okay. Okay, so we'll tighten up. So let's see. Most times I like to just connect it with this one I've already tuned. So if I've already tuned like this one, I use the octave to tune it. So okay, so that matches. Correct. So now what we want to do next is to look at other techniques that you can use when it comes to playing in stage, and then you don't have any way you can actually get a tuner, but you're already in stage. So like I said at first, when I succeed to tune this guy, or maybe in any key that I'm playing. So let's assume that you come on stage and you guys are playing on key F, right? On key F. Let's detune again slightly so we can explain it better. So we have key F already on stage. Now, this is where our key F is supposed to be here. But you see that it's not sounding correctly because I actually have these guys tuned. This is that. So what I'm going to do is, okay, we are on key F. Now the keyboardist is going to be definitely coming back to his F as 1. So which means Fa is going to be Do on key F, if you already know that. So once he plays that Fa, to me this is now Do. So I'm going to look for that sound. So, alright, so let's get it. So now I can now check it. It's connecting with the octave. Okay. So from here now, the keyboard is not going to be giving me all the rest. So if I'm playing, oh Lord my God, do. Let me sing on this key. Oh Lord my God, how excellent is your name. We're supposed to go to Saw, and this is not sounding like Saw yet. So I'm going to use this guy to tune the rest. Oh Lord my God. Singing on this key is becoming difficult. Oh Lord my God, how excellent is your name in all the earth. I cannot keep up with this, so I'm going to look for a way to get the tune. Okay, so I'm going to just play like Do Ti, La Sol. But now I'm getting that this is off. Do Ti, So this is where the saw is. So I'm going to tighten up. So Do Ti La. So I'm ready. This is what I'm doing. Do Ti La. So, but I always advise that you go to your church early or go to the gig early so you can get your bass tuned. do, ti, la, sol. So you have this one already. So you can keep on playing with these two strings before you get to tune the next one. So, oh Lord, my God, how excellent is your name in all the earth. See, how excellent is your. Remember, we have not tuned the D string, so we're going to. While you're playing, you're going to be strategically counting it. So, okay, so this is the fa. So we already know how many steps to tight. And when you're doing it, don't forget you'll be under tension. So always make sure you're not tempering with the wrong peg while you're trying to tune the right strings. Okay, so you have. So you now know that it's one step left. So you go again. So you have it now. Now, when you now try to compare this to how it should be on the original key, which is key C, this is that is correct. That makes it easy to tune, even if you're playing on a different key. Now, this also helps you to also be able to tune your bass when you have a situation where you're playing the bass on stage and the bass is kind of detuned. Okay, so what you need to be doing is, let's assume we're playing in a song and then we notice that our G, which is supposed to be so, don't forget we are playing on key F, so is not tuned. So what we're going to be doing is this, which is our A string is not tuned. So what we're going to be doing is we're playing G that is not tuned. So what you do immediately is try to know how many steps away is your bass detuned. So that way it makes it easy for you to find how many tones you're going to be doing, like where you're going. So you don't just keep winding your tuning pegs and then you're doing like you're guessing. So, oh Lord, let me be on this key. Oh Lord, my God, how. See, that sound sounded like fa, half. So now I know that is a whole step away from where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to just, is your name. So I'm going to gradually turn, okay, to get there. Oh Lord, my God, still not there. Is your name. Especially when you know your bass is not tuned, please don't be in a haste to play a lot of things. Just gradually until you get it, then you can start playing some stuff. Oh Lord, my God, still not there. So most times what I like to do is to be comparing, like I play like do, ti, la, sol, do, re, mi, fa, sol. Do you get like the diatonic scale to see how it connects? Okay, so I think we have it now. So, oh Lord, my God, how excellent is your name. So you have it there. Now, before you can start actually playing what is in your mind. Do you get? So this trick works very well. You can actually use it to get your bass tuned while you're playing on stage. Then when you get to stop the gig, you can actually still try to cross-check with the keyboard. So another way I like to do it is that I like to always compare them in octaves like this. So that way you know that if this is corresponding in octave, this should also correspond. So that way when you play, do you see that? That makes it easier. So there are so many other ways that you can actually learn how to tune your bass, so many techniques that works. But because I don't want this video to be very long, I'm going to make it brief. Just share with you guys these particular techniques and tricks that I like to use. Okay? Now, another most sweet and interesting trick that I want to share, especially when you don't have the keyboard, you don't have anything that you can reference to like I have now, is your phone. You can download the keyboard app, but then if you don't have access to the keyboard app, what I like to do is to get a song that I know the key of that song, okay? Maybe, for example, let's see if I can just get one song from here. But because of time, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to just get a key of that song, which I already know the key, right? Let's say Onishe Yanu is on key G. So what I'm going to do is to just look for where my G is supposed to be. This is supposed to be my G. And then try to see if the do of the G of the song of my bass is connecting. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm going to just look for how it connects. Maybe if that song is supposed to be the, so Onishe Iyanu Dan. I'm not singing on this key. Onishe Iyanu. You're the God about someone. Tested off your power. So what I'm going to do with that song is to get the root note of that song on the G where it's supposed to be. Then use this to tune my bass. So I'm getting that reference sound, okay, to tune my bass. So I'm going to use that as reference sound to tune my bass to standard, okay? Now when you've done this, when you go and cross-check with the bass or with the keyboard, you're going to see that you're still going to have your C here, where it's supposed to be to standard. So just remember that this is where your C is on the bass guitar. If you haven't watched out those videos which we did that talked about most of these things and how the bass is tuned standardly to key C, do have to check out those videos. The link to that video is going to be in the description box. See you guys in my next video. Do have to hit the like and subscribe button. Peace.